A new survey says 1/3 of all German Catholics are considering leaving the church. 33% said they were considering leaving because of ongoing scandals over the handling of clergy sex abuse. 44% said they had no plans to leave the church. In 2019, more than 270,000 German Catholics officially left the church. Joining us now to discuss this story is A.C. Wimmer, editor-in-chief of Catholic news agency Deutsch. A.C., welcome back. Great to see you. First off, before we begin, the Vatican released a statement today on not blessing same-sex unions. What does this document have to do with the German church? What can you tell us?
Thanks, Tracy. That's a great question. I think it has a lot to do with the German church, and I think most observers would agree, especially given we've already got the first reactions coming from the German bishops who have, in fact, prior to the decision by the Vatican, demanded that the catechism be changed on the homosexuality and the blessing of homosexuality issues that are currently being discussed in Germany in the synodal way, the synodal process. Bishop George Betzing, who is the current president of the German Bishops' Conference, has publicly demanded the catechism be rewritten, has in fact suggested that blessings of homosexual couples are absolutely fine and reflective of changing understandings of the doctrine of Catholic teaching, things that obviously now, given the decision of the Vatican, are no longer that clearly the case. However, for Bishop Betzing, they're not clearly no either. Today he said that he would consider what were points of view in the synodal way and did not otherwise react to what is clearly an answer from the Vatican.
Hey, see, I want to go back to the survey now. What more do we know about it, and how reliable is it?
Well, that's a great question too, because on the one hand, it is extremely reliable. We're dealing with a representative study that also backs up numbers that were taken in June 2020 of last year, with a similar finding that about a third of the Catholics in Germany are considering leaving the church. So similar numbers confirmed again in a representative study. But on the other hand, whilst there are 33% indicating such a thing in a survey, they might be doing it for reasons that don't mean they are no longer Catholic when they quit the Catholic Church. That might sound paradoxical, but of course it has to do with the church tax system. In fact, a number of the people that have been asked, in particular the younger respondents, are saying they no longer want to pay the church tax. They are still baptized Catholics, of course, and I personally know a number of people who are practicing Catholics who no longer want to pay the tax because they are concerned with how some German bishops are dealing with what are billions of dollars. In fact, in 2019, according to the most recent numbers available, there was $7.75 billion in church tax revenue for the 27 dioceses in Germany.
And I know in addition to that, many people said they were leaving because of the clergy abuse scandals. What are the latest developments regarding that in Germany?
Spot on, yes, that is indeed the other hot button issue, of course. There are a number of things underway in Germany. There have been for a number of years, as I'm sure most of your viewers will know, similar to what's been happening in the United States and elsewhere in Western countries with a large Catholic population. However, in Germany this week, we're expecting a report to be publicly available from the Archdiocese of Cologne that might have repercussions, not perhaps so much for the Cardinal of Cologne currently himself, the Archbishop, Cardinal Wölki, but for people who are auxiliary bishops there at the moment, or former auxiliary bishops, including the Archbishop of Hamburg, Stefan Hesse. In fact, both Cardinal Wölki and Archbishop Hesse have asked the Vatican to take over and look at whether they've handled allegations of sexual abuse well in the past. We might be looking at the first Vos Estis Lux Mundi investigation, in other words, the new system put in place by the Vatican under Pope Francis to investigate and make decisions about such allegations of clerical sexual abuse. But even once those decisions have been made, I'm afraid we'll be dealing a lot more with the follow-on from these things, because the repercussions are unfortunately institutional, and they will have to be dealt with in a much longer timescale than what we're currently looking at.
Well, AC, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. AC Wimmer, editor-in-chief of Catholic news agency Deutsch. Thank you again.
Thank you kindly, Tracy.